turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night and stay in this dream for repeat? Can we turn back the night and stay in this dream for repeat? Can we turn back the night? Same old places come alive. Wherever we are, feels like I'm seeing with new eyes. Even in the dark, let's go get lost. Just take my hand, ignore the cost. Forget the plan, I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind.
What is good, Nim fam? Welcome back to the Team Help Ultimate Champion stream and back to our normal slot this week. I'm once again joined by
Can't wait to find out who it is and what it is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got disconnected there from OBS Studios. Bear with me. Hopefully everyone is seeing everything okay. Let us know if you missed that. But we did get an exciting announcement. Do you just want to kind of repeat that again there, Speedy, just in
Of
case?
course. Of course. So we had an announcement now recently that a big club is going to be joining Ultimate Champions, and a nice cryptic clue was released yesterday on the Unagi Twitter as well. So I think potentially leading forward, there'll be a couple of other clues that might be released just to engage the community. So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it's gonna be. So we always love to on this channel give somebody a little something to brighten their day, and we have got for you another chance to win a silver pack this week, haven't we, Speedy? Tell us all about it.
That's correct. So this week, obviously, what you need to do is pertaining to the cryptic clue and the big club announcement. Just share who you think potentially it could be in the chat, and we will select the relevant winner at the end of the stream, and you'll win yourself a silver football pack. Remember, like and subscribe. That is the criteria. Otherwise, you won't get one.
Oh, who do we think it's going to be? Oh, so exciting. So exciting. I'm interested to see what everybody's guesses are going to be as well in the chat. So I wonder. Okay, so before we recap generally, I wanted to show you how I got on with my Gameweek 125, and it was another decent week for me in the All-Star Pro Division with a top 20 finish, 18th place for 1,200 MGC and 230 champ. Some great points coming mainly from the likes of Oriello, Emerson, finally, the players that have kind of been sat in my team, Bjortoff, and to name a few standouts. Was very, very happy with that, especially as Odegaard unexpectedly didn't play. So that came out of nowhere, didn't it, Speedy? We didn't know he was injured at all.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, we had him in, but what you did well is you had a good bench to cover, and we had Panic who came on for him, if I'm not mistaken, with some decent points. Quality score. You kind of making that top 20, top 10 at times your own in the All Stars, which is fantastic. Very good points, 2,408. And yeah, some champ grinding, and I do see that your champ balance is moving up, which is fantastic.
It is. Yeah, Panic on the bench there came in for Odegaard. So yeah, really happy about that. And I chose that team all by myself, so feeling a little chuffed on that one.
Don't need Speedy.
We had such a busy week last week. I had to just go ahead and bite the bullet, and thankfully it paid off. But that's how I did. let's recap on how the players we discussed did for game week
So we did
125.
we did fairly well. I think if we take all three into consideration, our first one that we had was obviously Dan Nistor. He played 90 minutes. It was kind of a shock result that they lost 2-1 to Voluntari because they've been playing decent football lately, as we mentioned on the stream last week. But at least Dan did come to the party. He was involved in the assist for that specific goal with 152 base points in UC. So still a decent return from him.
Yeah, I agree. There it was decent return, I think, and I don't think you can be unhappy about that, really.
Not at all. In a loss, if your strikers or your midfielders or any of those athletes in those teams get a highlight, then obviously you're going to score decently. And he does seem to be the focal point of anything attacking for
Mm,
Universitatea Cluj.
yeah, I agree.
Then on to our goalkeeper, and I think you had a goalkeeper in. No, you didn't. You had Mr. Leno in there, but our goalkeeper that we had was Arthur Desma.
Yeah, I had
He
him
played 90
in
minutes.
one of the other tournaments. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's it. So he played 90 minutes. Unfortunately, didn't keep the clean sheet. They conceded just after halftime, and they actually came back to beat Toulouse 2-1. So without the clean sheet, he still managed 4 saves and still picked up a decent amount of UC points, 104. Which is decent. Obviously, if he had to have got that clean sheet, it would have been an extra 53 on top of that. So still not a bad turnout for conceding. And then our failure of game week 125 is Jonas Vint. 90 minutes played, only 83 points was his base score in Ultimate Champions. It was a 2-all draw between Wolfsburg and Bremen. He wasn't unfortunately involved in any of those 2 goals. And then just to cap it off, for all the potential listeners and viewers that put him in the team because of us, he got a yellow card in the 80th minute as well to minus 10 points. So not
Ooh.
the best kickabout for Jonas Vint in game week 125.
No, Mr. Vind was not kind to us, but we can't get it right all of the time, can we?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just happy. What I can think of, I think since we've done the stream, we haven't had a do not play. And I don't want to touch wood. I don't want to tempt fate, but I think so. So that's been fairly decent so far.
No massive clangers yet. Massive clangers. Okay, well, that's how the players did, but we also wanted to touch upon how the teams did for 125 as well.
That's correct. Just to touch base on briefly on the 3 teams that we discussed last week. Obviously, Spartak got the win. Didn't win as big as I thought they potentially would. Just got the 1-0 win.
Mm.
But they did the job, and there were some decent scores. Especially their keeper scored pretty well in Ultimate Champions. Bran also got the win over Odd 2-1. And then lastly, the one where Mr. Dan Nistor plays for, University Cluj obviously lost to Voluntari, as we mentioned earlier, 2-1. So not a bad selection overall.
No, not too bad, not too bad. No monster scores, but yeah, ticked away, ticked away. With that, let's move on to looking ahead to game week 127 and the teams to target.
So what I've done is I'm not going to go in order of how the graphic is. I'm going to start with Peterborough.
Hmm.
They're obviously playing in English League One. They're currently fourth on the log. Played 16, won 8, drawn 4, and lost 4. They were unbeaten in their previous 9 matches before their 2-1 loss to Wigan on Tuesday night. That actually took part in our current, well, not our current game week, but our game week 126, which just ended today. They'll also be looking to get back to winning ways and strengthen their position in the promotion spots, and even perhaps push for those 2 automatic qualifying promotion spots at the end of the season. They play at home to Cambridge, who don't score many. So potentially looking at Peterborough defenders and their keeper may be an option. However, their team is set up for big UC scorers. Whether it's defenders, midfielders, or forwards, whoever you select has got an opportunity to score very, very well in Ultimate Champions. I have a little differential for everyone if they want to take a punt on it. And that is Ricky J. Jones. He has received over 70 minutes in each of their last 3 matches, and he scored once. He has started ahead of Johnson Clark Harris. And if the manager continues this, he could potentially score well on the weekend. So a potential differential to maybe outclass some of the other teams and managers around you in whatever lineup you decide to put him in.
Ooh, I've just jotted that one down.
Like I say, don't take me to the bank because he hasn't shone very brightly. He's got a goal, but he's getting some game minutes under his belt. He's really been a in and off player, I would say, for the last 2 seasons, if not longer, for Peterborough. So, like I say, if the manager decides to continue with that, it's a nice fixture that potentially could get some points for all of us who are brave enough to select him.
Yeah, it's just a punt, isn't it? It's a cheeky punt.
Of
We
course,
like
just
a
a
cheeky
punt.
punt now and again. We
Of
gotta have a
course,
bit of
yes.
cheeky
Of
punt
course,
every now
yes.
and again. It makes life exciting.
That's differentials can often be the difference between, yes, failure, but also success, and can set your team apart. You might need those couple of points to position yourself in the podium places. And if you think out the box and you select someone like that, it could benefit you.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. So, 2 of the big
Then
guns I can
let's
see.
set let's set the scene. The reason for this selection. Okay, Riga and RFS. Versaliga final day showdown.
Mhm.
One of them will be crowned champions in game week 127. So
Okay.
this is the last game week of our Versaliga. Our Latvians are leaving us for a break until they return.
I mean, as long as they play well this week,
Riga,
they deserve it.
most definitely, most definitely. But it's going to be a tight and an exciting finish. As you can see, there's not much to separate them. Riga played 35, 27 wins, 6 draws, 2 losses, 88 goals for, 20 goals against. RFS played 35, 126, drawn 8, lost 1, 95 goals for, and 18 goals against. Riga, as we mentioned, has a slender 1 point advantage going into the final match of the season. In the event that 2 or more teams have an equal number of points in the Latvian Versaliga, their head-to-head clashes is the first tiebreaker. I went back and searched. Obviously, there's only 10 teams in the Versaliga, so they play each other 4 times in the season. All 4 games between Riga and RFS this season have ended in draws.
Ooh.
The next tiebreaker is goal difference. And as we can see by those stats, RFS, who is second at the moment, 1 point behind Riga, has got the better goal difference. Then Riga play Valmiera this weekend. RFS play Meta at home. And remember, Riga play away. Riga have lost both of their away matches to Valmiera this season.
Ooh.
RFS have won 3 matches against Meta and drawn 1. And in their 3 wins, they scored 17 goals against Meta. So this is setting the scene to the last game or the last match of the season. Pressure situation. Both of these teams kick off at the same time as well. So it'll be intriguing to close our first Versaliga season on Ultimate Champions. And like I said, with the pressure of the title on the line, anything can happen. I like an underdog if 1 point can be classed as an underdog. So I will say RFS to clinch it and Riga to stumble at the final hurdle. But make sure you use all of your Latvian athletes that score well, because it's the last game week you can use them for a while.
Oh, I'm gonna be so sad about this because it's kind of the ones that I kind of went big on, I think, initially. So, yeah, I mean, this is besides Pellegrini, it's like, my Emersons and my Oriellos. It's gonna be a sad day, but hopefully they go out on a big high for us and go all in and have a lot of fun in our
It'll
last game.
it will be an exciting finale, and whether we love them or hate them, because there's obviously partisan views within the community when they came on board, it sets it up for a great final game week in the Latvian Versaliga, and who can clinch the actual title. And your players that you currently have, you'll just need to put on the back burner and wait until they come around in the new season.
Yeah, or sell them, maybe sell them. It's an
Or
option.
maybe.
I doubt it, but it's an option. What takers have I got in the chat, and how much are they going to give me?
I
Okay,
don't know if they'll be top of anyone's shopping list
it's very
just right
true.
now,
Very true.
because obviously with the break, there's going to be a lot of transfers and moving abouts and things like that. So potentially your good ones, put them on ice. Hope that they stay within a covered league in Ultimate Champions. And yeah, when the league comes around again, you can start afresh.
Might find a few bargains around there though, with people who might have doubles or triples that they're looking to kind of maybe hop off of.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And you'll see as we progress closer to when those specific leagues, or any leagues for that matter, start, that is when people start to have a look. And that is potentially also a good time, if you want to get rid of anyone, to start putting them on the marketplace, because you could potentially get premium for it, because we are leading into the new season, and managers want those specific cards to strengthen their collection.
Absolutely. Bobby has offered me a lion bar and a curly whirly for my stack. So, I mean, I'm not sure I can turn that down, to be honest. Although I am dairy free, maybe I have heard that there's some dairy free Kit Kats rolling about now. So maybe one of those, Bob, and throw one of those in and we'll see what we can do. Right then, let's move on to the 3 players we would look at starting this week for game week 1 to 7.
Great stuff. So very, very exciting prospect, I think, is Kwame Poku from Peterborough. He's played 15 games this season, 4 goals, 5 assists, last 5 of 149 points on Ultimate Champions. The 22-year-old Ghanaian is having a stellar start to the 23-24 season. And he's basically continuing where he left off last season. Last season, he basically got his first regular starts for Peterborough, and that has basically continued this season as well. In his last 3 League One appearances, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. He also scored and assisted in their most recent FA Cup match as well. So he's becoming a firm favourite for Peterborough. And as we mentioned earlier with the Ricky J. Jones punt, since Clark Harris has been left out, which is basically the last 3 matches, etc., his UC game week scores have been 164, 284 and 257 respectively. So Peterborough also have 3 great fixtures coming up, and it starts with Cambridge in game week 127. So I would say, if you have him, get him in your team. If you don't have him, go look if you can find him.
Ooh, okay. You heard it here first, folks.
I have his Genesis Epic,
I
which
see.
I've held on to and kept. Another little interesting point I just thought of, and I failed to mention, is um, any what I've noticed is I received a Kwame Poku common. It was either last week or the week before. And Opta has actually changed his position. So my Genesis Epic, which I had got many moons ago, is classed as a midfielder. But the new Kwame Poku cards that are coming out and being distributed, etc., are actually classed as a forward, because Opta have changed his position. So you will be able to play him in the forward position, where my midfielder Genesis card, I will still play him as a midfielder.
Ooh,
So it's quite interesting.
that is quite interesting. Yeah. Ooh, tell us a bit about Patterson then.
So Anthony Patterson played 15, 36 saves, 5 clean sheets, last 5 of only 87 points, which doesn't look very, very impressive. He's the shot stopper takes on Birmingham at home in Gameweek 127. There is potential for save points from him and maybe a chance of a clean sheet as well. After a dip in form, we saw Sunderland lose, I think it was 3 matches on the trot. They have steadied the
After I
ship
bought
now
half of
and have
them.
a victory. Yes, after you got Clark. They've steadied the ship with a win and a draw in their last 2 outings. So Patterson is a great option, especially as his last average is very low. He's also an under 23 candidate. So your under 23 and your ultimate champions tournaments and divisions, which are capped, you could potentially put him in one of those and save a bit more of your cap to strengthen in your other departments for those specific tournaments and divisions.
Mm. Cool. Yeah, I've been looking at him a couple of times actually, but I'm saving up that champ a little bit at the moment, so I'm not going on a spending spree just yet, but he is definitely on my watch list for sure.
Really, really good keeper. Been consistent over the years that he's been on Ultimate Champions. Obviously, there's been some goals conceded this season with Sunderland and the competitive nature of the actual league. But he's a shot stopper. I mean, he makes some great saves. He's a big boy as well. So I think he could do well this weekend.
I agree. And who are we bigging up for the last third spot?
The last one we have is Danilo Al Said. Played 26, 11 goals, 2 assists, last 5 of 146 points. He's obviously the striker for Sanderford. He has scored some great UC scores in the previous game weeks. If you go and have a look at his athlete profile, there's big over 150s, over 200s at certain times. Is a bit sporadic, but with him playing for Sanderford, who are just above the bottom 3 that can potentially get relegated. He's really performing decently. They've got a tricky tie against Rosenborg on the weekend, but with the relegation part on moving to the close of the season, I think if they score any goals and they fight hard, he will definitely be involved. So potentially someone maybe not to go out and buy because of the season winding down, but if you have him, or you're lucky enough to get him in a pack or something to that effect, someone to potentially put in.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, with that, we'll take a look at my lineup now. But whoever it is we've got covering our competition, they can probably start looking at choosing winner now if they'd like to, whilst I'm doing this. And here is
I
my.
have it.
Oh, you have it already. Ooh.
Yeah, but we'll wait. We'll wait.
Wait.
We'll wait.
Oh,
At least I have
okay.
it.
Yes, you have it. 2 seconds, bear with me. I'm just doing a bit of tinkering here. Right. So this is my all-star lineup for 127. I'm sticking with this tournament for now as I've been doing fairly well with it. So we're just grinding it out, right, Speedy? That's what we're doing with this team.
That's it. That's it. Burnt was very unlucky last week to concede that very late goal from Bruno Fernandes against Man United. I thought he had the clean sheet wrapped up, and that potentially could have pushed your 18th place up a couple of slots as well in the All Stars. Bjortov is on fire lately. If you look at his last 5, 6, maybe a couple more, he is just green. There were those times where earlier in the season where we were a bit hesitant to put him in because will he be rested? Will he be rotated? But he seems to be playing consistently. And I know Boda is top of the log by 6 or 7 points, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure they'll want to play their top team for the last couple of games. Gabriel, great bet against Burnley, especially after our disappointing loss against Arsenal, and we won't get into the goal and subjective and things like that. And then Helik always scores well,
Why
even though
can't we get
they
into that?
potentially have.
It was not a
No,
goal.
because we will speak for the next hour. Let's just say I was rather down until last night's victory in the
Yeah.
Champions League.
Mm.
Hillick scores well. He's got a tough fixture, but he scores well no matter what. Ronnie Edwards, you have to throw him in, even though he's a common. Peterborough have a great fixture as well. Palacios, you set and you leave. Emerson, as you mentioned earlier when we were chatting, has come back. He's doing quite well. Panic has got a fly this weekend. He has been flying, especially with it being the last game week. Pellegrino is due some goals. He's got some assists the last couple of games, but he's due another big one. He always has a big one, but he's due a massive one. Gabriel ran circles around the poor right back last night. I expect him to do the same against Burnley and potentially pick up some goals. And Douglas seems to be coming back to the form that he had um, in the beginning of the Versaliga season. And then we've covered our bench just with a couple of players, just in case there's any rotation and things like that. Just to the listeners, we would have gone full epic, but Nim likes to put some athletes in the international tier tournament. So we've used the likes of Jack Clark, Hume, Junior Ito, etc. in those specific tournaments. I will try, if she does well this week again in the All Stars, I will try and twist her arm to go full epic next week.
Yeah, and we're hoping as well that we get maybe the likes of Odegaard back, who I have an epic of, which we were unsure about using this week, obviously, because of this potential injury. I have a Saka common as well, which again we need to wait and see on his injury a little bit. So yeah, there was a little bit of kind of unsurety about this lineup, but hopefully we've gone as strong as we can with kind of hopefully our known starters this week anyway. So yes, but you'll have to tune in next week to see if Speedy twists my arm. There we go. There's a cliffhanger for you. Yeah, let me know if you think I've chosen the right captain in the chat, guys. Let me know if you would also go Pelly too. All right then. With that, we can announce who won the silver pack this week.
That's it. With a prediction of Inter Milan as the potential club joining Ultimate Champions, and it must have been the twirly bars and things like that. But Mr. Bobby Love
Hey,
is
Mila.
our winner. So what, Bobby, just make sure you like, subscribe. You can get in contact with me on Discord, and I'll take down your UC manager name and email address, and we will get that silver pack to you, and may it bring you success in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Flip says, think Palacios would be the better captain. So, ooh, something to think about there. I know he's one of your favourites there, Speedy.
Yes, I've got his mythic. When I put him into my Ultimate Champion Star team, I always captain him. I think only once did I change over to Nistor, because Dan Nistor is also having a quality run of form. So it's dependent on fixtures. They have quite a easy game. No game's easy, but they are playing at home, and they've got quite a decent game. They are first. In the Bundesliga, which is fantastic, and whether he scores or not, he scores well. He hasn't scored in a while. I don't think Leverkusen has got a penalty in a while, because he's on penalty duty. So this weekend, maybe a couple of penalties and a couple of goals. But it's your choice, them.
Yes, captaincy is always left to me. Thanks for that. No, I can assure you it's not a scam, but keep trying every week. You never know. You might just get lucky. They are chosen. They are chosen at random. Absolutely at random. So just keep trying. You will get there eventually. I promise. Cool. With that, we will wrap up. Thank you all so much for joining us again, and we will hopefully be here at the same time next week. Do make sure you go check out Ultimate Champions, the link in the description below, and make sure you check out the Discord channel, because that is where you will find all of your help in this game besides this channel, of course. But only remember to invest what you can afford to. Don't do anything silly, kids. And that is it. Thanks again for joining me, Speedy.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Always nice to chat to our community and the listeners. And good luck for Game Week 127. Set those teams up now. Make sure all your lineups are set, and don't tinker too much once they are set up.
Yeah, unless you hear that, Saka and Odegaard are starting, then of course go and get them in against Burnley.
100%. And just lastly, go and check out it helps quite a bit. Go and check out Civilized Gunners footy tips in Discord. He releases them normally tomorrow regarding top picks, captain selections, clean sheet odds, and things like that. That kind of helps you if you don't have time to do your own research. And then, as you know, we have Play Shopper as well, where you can go link up your collection and check out their experts, potential teams, etc. That's there to assist people that don't have the time to go and look on everyone's Twitter account and things like that. So good luck, guys.
Good luck, guys. Until next time, Nim and Speedy out.
Feels like I'm caught up in a trance. Can't come down all night. The city never stood a chance. With you by my side, it's all ours. So don't second guess. Let down your guard.